Estate Show. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. My name is Rick Naples. Well, today I thought we'd have a candid conversation about open houses. On the previous Real Estate Show and a couple of episodes during and before that time, I've always made mention about an open house and what an open house is. We've talked about how they're done, why they're done, what to do when you go to an open house. But the question's come up recently and has been actually for a while, as well as within recent conversation, about whether an open house is still a valuable tool when it comes to getting potential buyers to be interested in your home when it's for sale. Is it, with the onset of all the different things that are available now to market a home, still a viable thing to do, and is it worth it? So we're going to take a look at that here on the Real Estate Show.
Real estate professionals are in a unique position that most working professionals never face. They often share their contact information openly with others, meet unknown clients, and walk through vacant properties, to name a few. It's because of the unique nature of this business that it's critical for all real estate professionals to have a personal safety protocol in place that they follow every day, with every client, every time. And that includes with you. So, what kind of safety protocols might your real estate agent take? When meeting you for the first time, your agent might not meet you at the property right away without first having an initial meeting at the office, regardless of you or your agent's gender. You wouldn't want to meet a stranger at an unknown location, would you?
Hey, how you doing?
No. During the initial meeting, your agent may make copies of your driver's license and pre-approval letter for their records. This precaution allows the agent to keep a record at the office of who his or her clients are and a calendar of appointments. When first meeting with your agent, you'll also discuss the types of real estate you're interested in and walk you through the process. Now your agent can arrange showings, meet you at properties, and schedule open houses to help you through the biggest financial decision of your life. When viewing a property, your agent may ask that you drive separately. Please don't be offended. This is a safety precaution for you as much as it is for your agent. Not to mention you may both have appointments to go to afterward.
Hey, this is cute.
When viewing a property, you may need to sign in with your name and phone number or show a photo ID. This is so the seller's agent knows who entered the house. If you were opening your home to strangers, you'd want to know who was there too. As you tour a property, your agent may walk behind you. This is not only a routine safety measure, it also allows you to see the room first and make your own impressions. And many agents won't go into attics, garages, or basements, but feel free to look around and let your agent know what you thought. If you want to see a property that's vacant,
It's got potential.
your agent may only show it during daylight hours. Vacant properties should be seen during the day when you can see what safety hazards may exist, like a loose floorboard or any defects the house may have, like mold. When showing your property or hosting an open house, before opening your home to potential buyers, your agent may ask you to board your pets and remove jewelry, family photos, credit card receipts, artwork, prescription drugs, and valued possessions from the home. This is just one way your agent is looking out for you to keep your property and belongings secure. Your agent may bring a colleague to host your open house. If there are several potential buyers walking through the home, even better to have two agents on hand to answer questions and keep an eye on things. Safety is an important part of real estate, and we appreciate you respecting the protocols and processes that have been put into place to keep you and your agent safe.
An open house is exactly what it says it is. It is the ability or the procedure, or whatever you might want to call it, of a seller, someone that has a home for sale, opening their house to the general public to allow potential people to come in, take a look at the property, maybe arouse some interest in that property to make an offer to buy it. Now, realtors have used the open house technique as part of their tool bag in marketing homes they list. They'll put the home onto the multiple listing service. They'll advertise it in newspapers. They may do flyers out to a neighborhood announcing that they're going to open this property during a specific time. Most common happens to be Sunday afternoons, and it could be other times, to anyone that would like to come by and visit and look at the property. The open house technique has been around for a long, long time. You have to kind of imagine back a while when there wasn't an internet, when there weren't websites that buyers can go on and search homes, when there wasn't access to the tools that realtors have nowadays. How did you get buyers to come look at the home you were trying to get sold? The open house was one technique that you did. Sometimes there were events back in the day where there were different things that would go on during the open house to try and get the maximum amount of people to come see the home. I remember when I first started in real estate, I would do an open house, and I would have anywhere from 6 to upwards of 15, 20 people come to the open house and tour the home. And a lot of times I would be able to start conversations with people that might be interested in going further as far as looking at that home or making an offer. But as I mentioned, with the internet, there seems to be less and less. So is the open house still a valuable tool to use when you're trying to get your home sold? Let's take a quick break, look at this little presentation, and I'll be back to discuss a little bit more about the open house concept. We're talking here on the Real Estate Show about open houses. Now, just to go through what an open house is. Again, it's a house that's being opened during certain hours for the public to come in and tour, or potential buyers who are in the market in that area, that price range, to come by and see the home. It's a tool that realtors will use to try and get activity and interest in the home that they have listed. The open house is usually set up sometimes for a Sunday or Saturday afternoon. The realtor will open the door to the front house. They'll place out directional signs. They'll advertise the home to attract attention to it. And they'll greet people as they come into the home to walk through the home and see what the home has to offer. They sometimes will ask the person visiting the home to sign a sign-in sheet with their name or maybe their email, on the premise that they can report back to the seller that this person came, this person had this thoughts on the home, about the price, about its features, and so on and so forth. I mean, the realtor is taking on the responsibility of tracking who's coming to the house. Now, there are two issues that come up with today's open houses. Number one, most buyers that are truly interested in purchasing a home have already done their searches or have utilized searches on the web, on the internet. They've gone to realtor websites They've gone to different search sites. They've looked at homes. They've looked at Cascades, at the virtual tours. And a good percentage of them are working with a realtor as their buyer representative and have gone out on private viewings with that realtor to look at homes that they're interested in. It doesn't mean that they're not going to spend a little bit of time to go out to an open house. Maybe their realtor's not available to show it to them, or maybe it's just a convenient time to go out and take a look at a home. But it doesn't mean that they're going out to look at the home to potentially buy it. You see, the big problem with open houses is there's no control over who's going to come and look at the house. I've said before, when you open a home that's listed for sale in a general open house, the persons that are coming to look at it could be the neighbor next door who's just curious to see what the furniture looks like in the house or what the interior layout is. It could be someone that's just killing some time on a Sunday afternoon. It could be a fellow realtor like myself. I like to go to open houses to introduce myself to other realtors. It could be someone that has, other than purchasing the house, ideas. Maybe they're coming in to look at the house to see if there's anything valuable that they might want to steal. In today's market climate, it gets more and more challenging to do an open house. Realtors will prepare their sellers, like putting away their prescriptions, hiding away valuables, storing collectibles somewhere, to make the house as neutral as possible, because, as I said, you don't know who's coming to the open house. And a lot of times, the realtor will ask the persons coming into the home, are they represented by another realtor? And the reason why they do this is because they're looking to find buyers that they might be able to sell a home to, the unrepresented person. So the two reasons for open houses, or the two cautions with open houses, is you don't know who's coming, and also the security that you need to have when you're doing an open house. Now, here's the true fact. The whole purpose of doing an open house is not to sell the home the open house is being done at. Let me repeat that. When a realtor is doing an open house, it's not necessarily to sell the home that the open house is at. It's the realtor's way of marketing themselves and their company to possibly sign up unrepresented persons, buyers, to help them find a home that they're looking to purchase. Now, having said that, let me be very straightforward. It's not that a house would not sell during an open house. I've done open houses in my career and have been fortunate enough to have a buyer come visit, have them fall in love with the house. They're an unrepresented buyer or a represented buyer by another realtor, and it's resulted in an offer contract on that home. So it's not impossible that's going to happen, but most of the time it will not happen. It's just a marketing tool that the realtor can use to find additional clients. Now, having said that, the topic of this show is open houses, and are they still worth having? I kind of lean towards the side of no. There are other marketing tools that can be used in effectively marketing a home to find a qualified buyer to purchase that home and make an offer that the seller is going to accept, rather than just opening the doors for anyone that might want to come in. But having said that, my personal idea is no. I'm not going to say that they're not worth doing, because it is an opportunity for the realtor to really get to know the home that they're looking to sell, because they're going to spend a couple hours in the home. It's also an opportunity for the realtor to talk to people that are actively looking at houses, to kind of get an idea of what their feelings are as far as the price of the house is concerned, or the layout of the house, or the location house, to have very candid conversations. So there are some opportunities to gain some knowledge in the marketing, but not necessarily soliciting or getting an offer to purchase that home. Let's take a quick break and look at this presentation, and I'll be back with some more thoughts on open houses. Heard a lot of different stories from fellow realtors when they've done open houses of some of the things that they've experienced, of families coming on a Sunday afternoon to go through a home and getting a little bit out of control. What I mean by that is mom and dad show up, they have 3 or 4 kids in tow, the kids run all over the house, the realtor is one person, they can't really split themselves up and see what's going on. I've heard stories of people coming into houses and looking in areas they shouldn't be looking in. I've heard stories of the realtor finding out after the open house that something was stolen from the seller. I've heard stories of things being broken. And I've also heard the occasional story of people that have gone into people's homes for the specific purpose of causing some type of vandalism. I once did an open house many, many years ago where we found that one of the couches, one of the cushions, had actually been slashed. And the seller swears that the slash was not there before the open house. I did not see it when I toured through the house that it was a physical slash that was there. It wasn't one of those deals where the slash was on the other side of the curtain and some cushion and somebody purposely damaged the furniture for whatever reason there might be. So you have to be aware of those different kinds of things. As I've said on many real estate shows, preparing is always the best rule of thumb. If a realtor is going to do an open house, they not only have to prepare the home to be shown, taking into security measures, taking into account when the open house is going to be done, and also how they're going to market it, but they also have to prepare for different contingencies concerning doing that open house. There are many times that an open house is done and it's only the realtor that's at the home. It's one person, and they're in a home they don't live in. They're trying to market it and sell it. They're meeting strangers, people they've never seen before, have no background information on. They're taking those people that come into the house at their word as to who they are and what their purpose is. And they're pretty much vulnerable while they're there. That's why the new recommendations by the National Association of Realtors to realtors for safety is to always do an open house in pairs. If you go to an open house and there's two realtors there, they're not there to gang up on you. They're basically there for their safety, the seller's concerns and safety, and also your safety. And it also gives them the ability to have one realtor stay in the main staging area to greet people as they come in, while another realtor goes through the house to answer any questions with the folks that are looking to. This is the part of the real estate show I call the real estate mailbag. It's my opportunity to address questions that are emailed here to the real estate show, asked to me when I'm out and about, or even asked to me by fellow realtors. I recently set up a display in one of the local Stop and Shops to promote the real estate show, and while I was there adding some business cards, I had a gentleman ask me a very typical question, and the question was, how's the real estate business? And I answered with a big smile saying it's been getting busy. We all know what's been going on in the real estate markets. Some markets have been soft, some markets are improving. We do know that interest rates have been staying the same and that home prices are starting to come up. The issues that are starting to appear are that we're finding it more difficult for the first-time buyer to get qualified for that mortgage, either because of credit concerns, down payment concerns, or even if their credit is good and they have the down payment, length on job has been a concern. That is starting to change. We are seeing the banks widen their underwriting guidelines a little bit to make it a little bit easier. We've seen the federal government make some changes to the FHA rules, especially when it comes to condos, to try to make it a little bit easier for people to be able to buy into condos. So we are seeing some positive changes. My advice has always been talk to a realtor. A realtor is updated on everything that's going on. They do a lot of reading. They do a lot of education. They're the ones that can basically help direct you towards your purchase and the different things that may be available to you as a potential buyer or seller of a home. My name is Rick Naples. This has been The Real Estate Show. I thank you very much for watching.